Shalawam, Akiem, Wa Akwath. This is Pastor Jerry Carter III. I am here again to give you another snippet of this 400-year deception doctrine. I just want to show you just a quick reference here. Whereas the European dating, the European numeric system has, is literally confused Hebrew Israelites. And I'm just trying to help undo some of the confusion, because many of you are calculating 400 years based according to the European numeric system and ancient Hebrew. Our ancient ancestors, the ancient Negroes, the ancient Hebrew Israelites, the ancient people of the scriptures, they wrote the scriptures, the holy word, DABAR HaQADASH. They never used a Gregorian calendar, a Julian calendar, a Romulan calendar, a Grecian calendar, a Persian calendar, a Scythian calendar, a Javanian calendar. They never ever used any of these Eurocentric alternative numeric systems. So it's very difficult for you to take 400 years as written in the Bible and calculate it based according to 400 years in our modern Eurocentric education system. It just does not work. One way of understanding this thing is for you to reference Apostle Peter and also David in the Psalms. A day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. So when you go to Genesis 1 and you see Genesis 1 says in the evening and the morning, or the evening and the night, or the night and the day, as it goes through that system, it says this was the first day, this was the second day, the third day, the fourth day, so on and so forth, right up to the seventh day. That could easily be one day was 1,000 years, or 1,000 years as one day. You have to come to the understanding that the numeric doctrine in DABAR HaQADASH, ancient Hebrew, the holy word, you cannot use the European mathematic system to calculate those numbers that's in our holy word. It does not work like that. That's the reason why I use the European mathematics to show you that it's not comparable to the scripture. Our holy word, our scriptures, if it says 400 days, it could easily be 4,000 years. You get it? Or it could say 4,000 years, which could be 4 days. The algorithms in the holy word, DABAR HaQADASH, you have to understand that the European numeric system is not, they cannot comprehend YAQA IBAR, ancient Hebrew. So let's see right here. It says Gregorian calendar is written by the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica. It was last updated about 2.5 weeks ago. December 28th, 2018. So, you're going to see here, in the title is called Gregorian Calendar. Alright? This is the calendar year. This is the calendar doctrine that we have been using for 400 years now. 500 years. You got to understand that this was put in place to make sure you're fooled right now. They strategically planned on us to be fools right now and to be under the conditions we are right now, to make sure we never get the understanding of our own written script. That means we are literally walking out the truth and the prophecies of the scriptures. This is the reason why you got to throw that 400-year deception doctrine out the window. Do not play the fool with this anymore. Some of you have made comments in our comment section that is very combative, which is very humorous, because that lets us know that you are yet not able to comprehend our ancient scripture, although you don't believe in Yahawashi Hamashiach. He's written in the Old Testament. But the way the Europeans written things and they devised things, they schemed things, they made sure to fulfill the prophecies that's written in the scriptures about us, to make sure our eyes could see but yet we can't see, make sure our ears could hear but yet we cannot hear, to make sure that we would be those same exact people written in the scripture. Okay, they knew exactly who we are. They knew our ancestors are the children of Israel. They know we're the remnant of the seed of Israel. But what they did in there, they called us black Gentiles. And they taught the black Gentile doctrine. So what I want you to do is stop arguing and fussing and look at what the European has done and learn the truth. And I'm not speaking to everyone. I'm speaking to you key individuals that don't believe in Yahawashi Hamashiach, because it's the majority of you that are putting up combative comments. You don't believe that Jesus Christ, Yahawashi Hamashiach, you don't believe he existed. You don't believe he came here. You don't believe he exists right now. But you keep playing around with the scriptures and you're selling that lie about the 400 years according to Abraham. The 400 years according to Abraham, if that had not taken place back then, by now in the ancient Matazarium, which is ancient Africa, ancient Ethiopia, if it did not take place over there, then we would yet be over there. You understand what I'm saying? We would yet be over in the old world. You guys got to put this in your understanding. Why would you want to be in the old world trying to fulfill prophecies about today and then calling yourself an Israelite of today, but you're trying to say that our ancestors never crossed the Jordan? If you say our ancestors haven't crossed the Jordan yet, then you're clearly saying that you are not a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, so now I'm going to show you here on the screen this scripture. The scripture is going to show you this right here. Let me see. Okay. IBAR. YASHARAL. Okay. IBAR YASHARAL equals this. IBAR YASHARAL equals this. Hebrew Israelite. Okay? You like how I did that S right there? Sometimes I do that when I'm doing other creative things, but that's an S. Let me correct it and make sure you know it's an S. S, okay? Hebrew Israelite. Okay? So let's see if this is actually scripture. I'm going to show you that it's scripture. So while you're in this lesson, it will make sense to you. Okay? So we're going to go to this book. The name of this book is Yahawashai. Yahawashai. And his name looks like this in the ancient. Yahawashai. It's the same as Jesus Christ. His name is Yahawashai. Okay? And Yahawashai, his name in English is this. Joshua. Okay? All right. So we're going to do this. IBAR YASHARAL looks like this in the scripture. IBAR and it's going to say Whoa, that looks like a ba. Let me correct that. That's the reason why sometimes you gotta. There it is. IBAR YASHARAL. Okay? YASHARAL. Alright? That's what you're going to see in the scripture, and that is Hebrew Israelite. Now, you cannot be a Hebrew Israelite unless you acknowledge these verses. You have to follow these verses. You have to follow YAQA IBAR, ancient Hebrew. So I'm going to show you in the scripture where it says IBAR YASHARAL. It's going to be found in the book Yahawashai. Sapar Yahawashai. Okay? Let's go there. Okay. So you see, I want you to go to the third row. This is the first row. All right. I want you to go to the I want you to go to the third row. That's one. That's the second row. Third row. You see the third row right here. Right there. It says IBAR YASHARAL. Hebrew Israel. You read it from right to left. IBAR YASHARAL. We are Hebrew Israelites. Written in the scriptures. Con? This is, it says Paleo Hebrew before 585 BC, which is YAQA IBAR, ancient Hebrew. We are Hebrew Israelites. This is IBAR YASHARAL. How is this fact? You have to go to Joshua 4th chapter, Yahawashai 4th chapter 22nd verse. Then you shall what? Let your children know. We are those children. Saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. That's the reason why this lesson is so important. Because many of you that are saying that the 400 years in a strange land has not been fulfilled yet, you are actually saying you are not a Hebrew Israelite. Because right here, Israel came over. That's Hebrew Israelite. This is Hebrew Israelite right here. Came over this Jordan on dry land. That's the 400 years fulfilled. God? Now, if the 400 years is not fulfilled in Joshua, with the conquest of Joshua, then that means you cannot call yourself IBAR YASHARAL. You cannot call yourself a Hebrew Israelite. You ban yourself from being a Hebrew Israelite just because you're in denial of the 400-year prophecy. You're deceived. So you're still in in ancient Matazarium trying to fulfill becoming a Hebrew Israelite. Our ancestors were not called Hebrew Israelites not until this verse right here. They crossed over the Jordan on dry land. IBAR, YASHARAL. Israel came over. IBAR, YASHARAL. Atha ha Yaradan, which is the Jordan. Ha-Za'ah, or Hazah, which is the dry land. So, IBAR, YASHARAL, Hebrew Israelite. Okay? I don't know what else to tell you other than stop calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite if you're going to follow that 400-year deception. Let's continue. So we see here Gregorian calendar, also called New Style Calendar, solar dating system, now in general use. It was proclaimed in 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th as a reform of the Julian calendar. Now I want you to do this. Add 400 years to 1582 and you'll end up with 1982. You see how this is nonsense, you guys? You see how this foolishness, it doesn't even make sense what you're doing with the 400-year deception? Even the Romulan, the Europeans, okay? The European that's over here in America, what you call America, which is some of the most ignorant things for our people to say, is America is not Europe. This is dummy doctrine. And I understand the reason why a lot of these guys on the street corners are so upset and they're cussing folk out, because you got this type of nonsense among us. And I'm not saying they are innocent either. But what I'm saying is you guys got to stop the nonsense. You got to stop the foolishness. Okay? If you add 400 years to 1582, when Pope Gregory the 13th changed the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, you're going to end up with 1982. Now you add another 30 years to 1982. Okay? You still are not at 2019. We passed it. Do the math. You understand what I'm saying? Do the European math and you'll see that they've been brainwashing and whitewashing and scrubbing and changing things around numerically, and they've been fulfilling the prophecy in the scripture that says that they would do that. In Daniel the 7th chapter, around the 25th verse, they will think to change times and laws. This is the evidence. Stop trying to undo the prophecies. Fulfill it. Live it. We got a 430-year prophecy that you guys won't even speak about. That's on top of the 400 years that has already taken place. Ezekiel prophesied about 430 years. And you're calling America a totally separate place from Europe. It's silly. White people in America are the descendants and the same family members, the genetic ancestors of the Europeans over in Europe. They are the same exact people. So you cannot separate our captivity and our bondage and our strange land prophecy. You cannot separate that from the European system. America is of the European system. It's the same exact people. They're not different people. Okay? So you see, in the next part, it says the calendar, the Gregorian calendar, the Julian calendar year, 365.25 days, was too long, since the correct value for the tropical year is 365.242199 days. This error of 11 minutes and 14 seconds per year amounted to almost 1.5 days in 2 centuries. Okay? If you want to look this up, go to Encyclopedia Britannica and you can read the rest of that reference point. I'm going to scroll down here so we can see the breadth of what Britannica is writing here. The European, the same people that's related to the Queen of England, the same people that you don't want to describe as America, along with the European, these are the same exact people. This is what they have in their encyclopedia. So you'll understand this is what you've been taught in school, I've been taught in school. Okay? The Spanish, the German, the Portuguese, the Italians, the Estonians, the Swiss, the Swedes, Greenland, Auckland, all these different countries are European countries. Okay? These are all the same white European people. Just because they speak a few different languages, they still the same people. Even in South America. This is the reason why they call it America, North and South America and Canada, because this is all named after European people. So this says here, by the Julian reckoning, the solar year comprised 365 and a quarter days, which is the 0.25. The intercalation of a leap day every 4 years was intended to maintain correspondence between the calendar and the seasons. A slight inaccuracy in the measurement, the solar year comprising more precisely 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, 45.25 seconds, caused the calendar dates of the seasons to regress almost 1 day per century. So here's another issue. The other issue you have is the fact that they are deleting days and adding days by the seconds. They've been doing this for over 1,000 years. So if they've been doing this for more than 1,000 years, you're going to see where this 400-year deception has been manifest. Okay? It's been manifest, and you're going to see how it actually materialized, and it's some trick doctrine. And the European, white folks are laughing all the way to the bank because you're buying into it. So let us clear this up, okay? I'm speaking aggressively because some of you really need to get these demons out of your system. And sometimes when we're casting out demons, we have to use the voice of aggression. And I'm not really as aggressive as I should be. Okay? So let's continue. Although this regression had amounted to 14 days by Pope Gregory's time, he based his reform on restoration of the vernal equinox. Then falling on March 11th to the date, March 21st, it had an AD 325, the time of the Council of Nicaea. So you that are playing this 400-year deception, you're part of the Council of Nicaea, and you're the same people that say you hate the Council of Nicaea. You're the ones that say that the New Testament is fraud because of the Council of Nicaea. Come on, people. Let's get some more of this. And not on the date of the equinox at the time of the birth of Christ, which is Yahawashi Hamashiach, when it fell on March 25th. And we know Yahawashi Hamashiach was not born in March or April. Yahawashi was born on our Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. His birthday. Watch my lesson that I put up about the Christmas deception about Yahawashi's birthday. Okay? I might put it in the description box so you can click on it. His birthday is when we had our quote-unquote, the European word atonement, which is Kippur. Okay? That's the time of his birthday. So let's see if they actually say the same thing. They said Yahawashi's birthday when it fell March 25th. The change was effected by advancing the calendar 10 days after October 4th, 1582, the day following being reckoned as October 15th. This October date, y'all see the deception now? This October date, between this time in October and November, that's when Yahawashi is born. So they know they're fooling everybody. This is in Britannica. This is a worldwide encyclopedia. They know that they are fooling the whole world. And this is the Romulan process to make sure you're fooled. Con, and wait till we get to this next part, because this is where you guys really should be blown out of the water. So the Gregorian calendar differs from the Julian only in that no century year is a leap year unless it is exactly divisible by what number? What number? Yeah, get close to the mic and yell at you. What number is it divisible by? 400. You see, they're using our holy scriptures to fool us. They're using the same exact numbers. They're reversing, they're switching things around, scrambling numbers around, and they're using the divisible number of 400. So who's deceived here? Is it them? Would it be them that's deceived? The people that are not aware of this, of their people, they're the ones that are deceived. But that hierarchy, they're not deceived. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're laughing at Negroes, Hebrew Israelites. They're laughing at us all the way to the bank. This is the reason why I put this out in segments, because I've done this research years ago, and it's time for certain pieces of this information to come out, because more and more of our people that are waking up, you're falling into these different trick doctrines. Now you see right here, the Britannica, they clearly said that the Gregorian calendar is different from the Julian only in that no century year is a leap year unless it is exactly divisible by 400. Now go back to the scripture. And where is the scripture that speaks about a divisible number of 400? Yeah, the same year, the same scripture that you guys been hemming and hawing about, saying that we are fulfilling the 400-year prophecy. They've been bankrolling that 400-year prophecy for more than 1,000 years. They use their script from the Council of Nicaea, and they use that date, and they've been bankrolling 400-year divisibles since then. Even before that, they was doing that to us, because we have been a people that had the gods. We had the little Allahayim. We had that doctrine. We had that wisdom. We had the God's wisdom. But our ancestors screwed up with Yahweh Allahayim and fell off and put us in a state of utter ignorance. And this is exactly what you are doing right now. You're using utter ignorance. And they're playing this ignorance on us. Let's continue. So it says right here that it has to be exactly divisible by 400. And then it gives us an example. If you use the year 1600 and you add 400 years, what year is that? 2000. So those of you with the 1619 doctrine, okay, you with the 1619 doctrine, you think that we're in 2019. This is just some foolishness that the Romulan made up on the calendar. They made up a calendar and made it divisible by 400 years, referencing our ancient scriptures. And here you are trying to bankroll on 2019. Come on. Let's stop this. A further proposed refinement, the designation of years evenly divisible by 4,000 as common, not leap years, will keep the Gregorian calendar accurate to within 1 day in 20,000 years. So you see how this nonsense is that the European has done, and you're bankrolling, you're trying to use our YAQA IBAR, the ancient Hebrew, you're trying to use our ancient dating and match it up with this European time date, and they're telling you they updated this December 28th, 2018, and they verified the calendar that you are using is fool's gold. Fool's gold.
Coming soon, more YAQA IBAR lessons. Copyright DABAR HaQADASH LAQACH Ba IBAR YAQA Pastor Jerry Carr III. DABAR HaQADASH, the Holy Word, LAQACH, Doctrine, Ba IBAR YAQA in Ancient Hebrew. Thawada Rabbah. Shalawam.